Hello, curious minds. Have you ever wondered why, after a rain shower when the sun peeks out, a dazzling rainbow suddenly paints the sky? Isn't it fascinating how nature uses light to surprise us? This amazing display happens because of a process called dispersion, where sunlight, which looks white to our eyes, is actually made of many colors. When sunlight enters tiny water droplets hanging in the air after rain, it first bends or refracts. Then, inside the droplet, it spreads out into its colorful components, reflects off the droplet's inside surface, and finally bends again as it leaves. This journey splits the white light into a beautiful array of colors. This same physics explains other natural light shows like halos around the sun, mysterious sundogs, and even the colors shifting on soap bubbles. And guess what? We can recreate this magical effect anytime using glass prisms in labs or classrooms, showing us that the colorful world around us comes from light's wonderful behaviors. Let's dive deeper into white light itself. What is white light made of? It's actually a blend of many wavelengths, each corresponding to a visible color, ranging all the way from red to violet. When white light passes through materials like a glass prism, each color bends or refracts at a slightly different angle. This happens because every color travels at a different speed inside the prism, changing its direction uniquely. Have you heard the acronym ROGBIF? It stands for the 7 main colors you see in a rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Among these, red has the longest wavelength, about 700 nanometers, that's why it bends the least. Violet, with the shortest wavelength of around 400 nanometers, bends the most. Isn't it astonishing how just one beam of light actually hides a whole spectrum of colors? This splitting is not only seen with prisms but also when light shines on oily surfaces or shiny CDS, creating shimmering rainbows like tiny works of art. Now, let's explore what happens inside a glass prism that makes all this color magic possible. When a beam of white light enters a prism, each color slows down differently because of its wavelength. Shorter wavelengths, like violet and blue, slow down the most and bend sharply, while longer wavelengths like red slow down less and bend gently. As light enters the prism's denser glass at an angle, it bends toward an imaginary line called the normal. Then, when it exits the prism back into air, it bends away from the normal, spreading the colors even more. Because the prism has angled surfaces that are not parallel, it doesn't just bend the light, it splits it apart, creating a fan-like spectrum. This rainbow of colors we see coming out is clear proof that white light isn't a single shade but a complex mix of all these vibrant hues working together. What influences how spectacular this colorful display is? Several factors come into play when a prism disperses light. First, the type of glass matters a lot. Different glasses like flint or crown glass bend colors to different extents because they have varied refractive indices for each wavelength. Next, the angle of the prism itself plays a big role. A sharper angle means the light bends more, making the colors spread wider and appear more vivid. Also, the angle at which white light hits the prism changes the range and separation of colors produced. Interestingly, if you shine only one color, say red light, into the prism, you won't see dispersion. The beam just bends but doesn't split because dispersion needs multiple wavelengths. Even the surrounding environment, such as temperature or if the prism is surrounded by air or water, can subtly affect how much the light bends and spreads. Isn't it amazing how many details influence this simple yet elegant phenomenon? Imagine you're in a classroom ready to watch science come alive. To demonstrate dispersion, we first create a narrow beam of white light using a slit, a thin opening that focuses light sharply. This focused beam is directed at a triangular glass prism resting on a flat surface in a darkened room for best visibility. When the light shines into the prism at an angle, it exits through the other face, spreading out into a beautiful fan of colors projected onto a white screen behind it. Red shows first, followed by orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. If we place another identical prism upside down in this path, the colors merge back into white light, showing that dispersion and recombination are two sides of the same coin. Visual aids like the standard ray diagram here help us understand exactly how each color bends and separates, revealing the true nature of light inside and outside the prisma. So, where else do we see dispersion putting its powers to work beyond rainbows and labs? Optical instruments like spectrometers and spectroscopes use dispersion to break down light into its components, helping scientists analyze the makeup of stars and distant celestial bodies by examining the colors their light contains. In communication technology, fiber optics depend on precise control of how light disperses to send huge amounts of information quickly and clearly over long distances. Even the sparkle of a diamond, that captivating fire you notice, is due to the gemstone's high dispersion, splitting light inside it into vivid flashes of color from many angels. Understanding dispersion connects us not only to beautiful natural sights but also to vital scientific tools shaping our world. Isn't it thrilling how a simple physics concept supports so many facets of life and technology? Let's bring it all together now. We started with the magical moment when a rainbow appears after the rain and saw how white light is actually a rainbow hiding in plain sight. Through natural wonders and classroom prisms, we learned that refraction makes colors bend differently, splitting light into its spectacular spectrum. Each color's wavelength determines how much it bends, and the way light interacts with materials like glass creates this vivid show. We also glimpsed everyday connections, from sparkling gems and twisting CD rainbows to dazzling sundogs in the sky, all shadows of dispersion at work. I hope this session helped you see the brilliant world of colors hidden inside light and the fascinating physics behind it. Remember, the science of light doesn't just explain what we see, it deepens our awe for the living, colorful world around us. Until next time, keep looking with wonder and let curiosity guide every step of your learning journey.